y'all, welcome to Cooking on the Farm. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to show you my cast iron collection. Have you guys ever seen a cast iron pan at a thrift store, a garage sale? Oh, it's only 10 bucks. Perfect. Let's go restore this. And it looks something like this. Or this. Or even this. Okay, I can get these to look like this, okay? Because this used to look like these. Come on in and I'll show you how I do it. So we're gonna need some steel wool or a chain. I don't have a chain, I need to get one. Some sort of a scrubby, some oil, a neutral oil. You don't wanna use an oil that tastes a lot. So this coconut oil is all that I have. A lot of people use veggie oil. I am not a fan of veggie oil. So I use coconut oil, never had a chance. You don't want to use butter. You don't want to use an oil that goes bad quickly. So olive oil, things like that. And you're not supposed to heat olive oil. And then some paper towels and some water. Okay, so last year I found this guy at a antique mall. By now you've seen the scene where I actually found this. It's got dust and I haven't even washed it. Literally brought it home in Camper Sun and put it in my pantry, and that's where it's laid for a year. Okay, this little fella I found at Tillamook, Oregon at the Goodwill, and I also found it with this guy. And you can see there's some marks on here that I'm still working on burning off. This guy looked amazing. I actually thought someone had stolen this and this. Okay, I have not opened this in I don't know how many years because I have not been able to find it. I just found it. So let's open it together and we may scream. Okay, here we go. Oh, gross, there's food in there. I can take all this and turn it into this. I have also, this guy and these two are my only brand new things that I guess David bought me this for my birthday way back when. I bought these two way back when also. They just need to be seasoned. So how do you get this to this? All right, I will just show you the process as we go. All right, let's head to the sink and I'm gonna work on these two first. This guy is gonna need some extra TLC. So like I said, this guy has never been washed, so I'm literally just going to put a little water in it, a little soap, use my little scrubby dill. And we're just gonna see how bad it actually is. All right, let's head to the stove. Well, that guy, I'm gonna go work on that guy, just doing the exact same thing I did to this guy. This guy's gonna be heating up, so there's just some water in the pan. You can dry it if you want, but when you dry cast iron, it always has some, like, you can see my hands are a little bit dark, some of that black stuff on it. It always has a little bit of that on it. So I'm just gonna let this dry. It's gonna take a couple minutes, and then we're gonna see where we're at. All right, let's head back over here. So I'm not using my steel wool on this. I'm just using this kind of a plastic thing. When I feel it, it feels really bumpy, like there's residue of stuff on there. Because I do know this pan is seasoned, I'm not gonna use soap. All right, so I'm gonna turn this guy off, turn this guy on. So notice I am wearing a dark apron. You do not wanna do this with a white t-shirt on. It will destroy your t-shirt. I got this guy dry, the heat is off. It is, I mean, I can kind of touch it. I'm gonna take this to my sink and I'm gonna take some steel wool. And the areas like down here where you see rust, it actually looks like there was a pan sitting in it and it rusted. So we're gonna scrub that off with steel wool. Some people use salt in it. I've done that, yes and no. I like it and I don't at the same time. I don't think you need it. So I'm gonna steel wool those little areas because they look rough to me, like it's got a, you can feel a lip where the bottom of a pan was. And there's some goo that I don't even know what that is on there. So I'm just gonna kind of scrub out the goo stuff. This guy is almost dry. And because I do know for a fact that this guy was seasoned, this was in my camping box, and that tells you how long it's been since we went tent camping. I do have my oven. You can either set it on broil, or I have mine at 450 because these are going to be going in and out of your oven. The reason you want them dried out is if you don't 100% completely dry them, they will rust. That is what happened to this guy. So anyway, I'm going to get this guy good and dry. So I'm going to start him on step 2. And then we'll take this guy over there. All right, so we are almost dry. Okay, once you're completely dry, you take your oil. I'm just taking my coconut and I'm just kind of like getting some on there. And I'm just going to turn off my heat and paint the bottom and your sides. Get everything really good and painted with your coconut. Now, if this gets grimy, because it's getting grimy, because it's also lifting off some of that rust too. I don't dip back in my coconut oil. I use a spoon. Okay, so I go on my edges. I do not do my handle. I don't think there's a need. I just kind of go along the edges where you're going to slop out stuff, or if you're pouring stuff out where it could go. Now I'm going to grab a napkin, and I'm just going to wipe out the inside here. Look at all that. That is nasty. Now remember, we did just wash this. I didn't use soap on this one, but I did on this one. A little more coconut. I'm going to brush it. So all these layers are seasoning. Now some people, like I said, put salt in here, and it kind of roughs up stuff. Another napkin. You're going to go through napkins today. Sorry. And I throw it in my oven. Upside down. Okay, because I want the oils that are still in there to like slough off, so they'll drip down. You can get a little bit of smoke if you leave too much in there. I'm gonna take this guy. Don't get the fabric one of these. I'll have David zoom in. I have burnt this sucker to a crisp, and I don't leave it on. I put it on, and I'm stirring, and then all of a sudden it catches on fire. I've had to dunk this in the water. I generally have a bowl of water next to my stove, so the burner's off. Okay, back to the sink. So there's like, and this is still warm. You can see it smoking. It's a little hot to put my hand in here. So I'm just gonna kind of scrub at this side. Hot. Okay, you know, I'm gonna run some cooler water in here. I don't want to run cold water because I don't want to like hurt my pan. Some people say that it will hurt your pan to run cold water in it. So this is cool, like room temperature, just to cool it down a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of soap in here and give it some elbow grease. And you might not get all these stains out, but we're just going for a majority of them. And cooking in the oven, some of these stains do come out. So like right here, that's like an oil or something that's up there. So I'm just gonna scrub that off. Now, if you do scrub so much and you get to where it's shiny, the cast iron seasoning layers come off, you can re-season that. So don't even worry. Ooh, there's a lot of bumpy stuff right here. That's gross. It actually feels like it's it's actually in the pan. The pan right here bubbles up a little bit. So you can see this has some like this black stuff up here. I'm just scrubbing that off because you want to season your pans, and you want to season it with what I say is like your seasoning love. And granted, other people's is great, but I don't know what that is. And if it comes off this easy, so I'm assuming they didn't clean their pan enough. The pan that's in the oven, I'm going to grab it out. It's been in, I don't know, 5 minutes, however long it took me to wash that guy, it's been in there. So you can see it's pretty smoky hot, okay? I am going to add some more oil, okay? This is how I do it. Other people do it differently. This time, I'm not gonna wipe it out. And you can see the salt in there, and to me, that's why I don't like to salt it, because I'm like, oh, it looks dirty, but it's just the salt. Okay, back in the oven, upside down. This guy is almost done. All I do is add oil to it. And this is every time. Like I made breakfast this morning. I wiped my pan out. Again, going on your top. Not your whole handle, just that little divot thingy. And then I'm just going to throw this upside down in my oven. You can see how it's pretty smoky in there. I'm putting them, you know, kind of staggered. It doesn't matter. So I am actually super upset about this because this was a birthday present. This is my actually very first cast that someone ever bought me. So this is a lid.
Who bought you that?
You did. It is a Cabela's. It is super heavy. So with cast, that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to just put water in here. Oh, I'm going to go grocery shopping and you come back. No, you do not do that. You can put it in there and you can scrub, 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 dump. Put water in, scrub, 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 dump. Don't let it soak because it actually will start breaking down and rust. Like you can actually see the rust forming. It's super cool and not good for cast. So I'm just going to get started on this. David will kind of speed the process up so you can see it go from to, well, you'll see. All right, so I'm gonna bring this guy over here and turn the heat on him. Let's flip it over. Whew. I have a lid lifter right there. Okay, we're just gonna let that guy get hot. I had a farm boy come and volunteer. All right, so with this, same thing, a little bit of coconut, a little brush. So I treat my lid as if it was a pan because you can flip this, like say this, well this is a gas stove, but a fireplace or whatever, briquettes or whatever, you can cook pancakes on this. I've done it a lot of times until David got me my big huge thingamajiggy bobber for pancakes. So I do, because I do want this to seal nicely, and if something boils over, I don't want it to get caught in the nooks and crannies. I do get this outside lip really, really, really well. So I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna put it technically right side up in the oven. So you'll notice my oven is getting very full. I store my cast in my oven. For those of you who have seen that before, it's always stored in there. Now, be careful. Like, I have made the bad habit of taking my oven mitts off and my hand, yeah. So leave a oven mitt on. And I'm just going to, not a whole lot, just a little bit, like a teaspoon maybe. You know, I mean, if it was a smaller pan, I would do a little bit less. I'm gonna turn my vent on and talk a little bit louder. You can see, look at all the dark rustness. Here, let's take a paper towel. Let me get this oiled really well. And then I'm gonna wipe it out and show you that it's actually kicking out some of that extra garbage. Remember, this is the one that we did wash with soap and water, scrubbed it, the water was clean and beautiful. Remember, it's very hot, be very careful. You can use tongs for this if you want. So now, that is a seasoned pan. Now, a lot of people will do this and they will put it in the oven, turn the oven off, let it come completely down off a temperature, and then redo all this part. Because I have so many that I'm doing, and I always leave them in the oven, I'm always pulling pans out. Whenever I have to cook something, I have to pull them out. So I just let them cool in there. So I'm gonna stick these back in there and gonna work on that one that my farm boy is helping me with. This guy looks beautiful, he's done, so I'm just gonna pull him out for now. People think that you have to be super careful with cast. You can be pretty rough with it. You know, a lot of people are like, no, don't use soap, that's horrible, that's the worst thing for it. Well, forgetting to wash it for 2 or 3 years or whatever this was with food in it, that's horrible. Okay? So what tells me happened is the pan was not seasoned enough for a bunch of caramel and sugar and all that stuff from doing a pineapple upside down cake. Oh, there's another little piece right there. It wasn't quite ready. So that tells me that I need to do a little bit more work at getting it good and seasoned. So your house will smell a little bit. So doing this in the summer or in the spring when you can open your doors and windows, we've had our vent going on our stove to kind of keep the, you know, when we open this up, that smells, that gluck smells. So what we're doing is we're just heating this guy up. It does have legs, so the legs do fit through the dilly bob in my stove. If you, let's say you have a glass top stove, you're never gonna put your legs on there. Just throw it in your oven, or get it good and dry, and then bring it out, oil it, throw it back in your oven. That's what I'm gonna do because it's just gonna be a long day for this guy. He has no shine at all. A little on the top, I don't know if David can see, this top edge right here and right here are seasoned. That's it. I did pretty much strip all the seasoning off this pan. I knew that was gonna happen. Again, oil. I'm gonna do probably 2 teaspoons on this guy because it's a big pan, okay? And I'm just gonna put oil on it. I'm gonna turn my heat off. Okay, I'm gonna get all the way up, again, around my rim, because this does have a, like, not a lock lid, but it goes on pretty tight. It seals really well. I make roasts whenever we go camping because this guy is so dry. So think of dry hands, okay? You lotion your hands. Do you wash off the extra stuff? No, you let it soak in. If your hands are only like a little bit, you don't add much lotion. But if they're really dry, you put a lot of lotion on. This guy's really dry. I'm putting a lot of coconut on him. Going in, I'm literally gonna do every 5 minutes, pull him out, the next time I'm gonna wipe him out with a paper towel, put another layer on him, and then just a very thin layer after that, not wiping it in between. And I'm probably gonna do it 4 or 5 times over the next, hour or so. Then I'm gonna throw everybody back in here and turn off the heat and say goodnight and just not mess with them till tonight. So these are my ones that were sealed. This is a lighter cast iron too. This one was the one that was super rusty and nasty and yuck. And it's not, it's gorgeous. They're just gonna keep adding seasoning to this pan by every time. So say I just got done cooking eggs, I'll wipe it out, oil it, throw it in, even if the oven's off. That's where I store my cast iron. So that is the other thing is if you do stack them in your oven, they can, because the bottoms don't get cleaned, have some little yucks on them, but it just literally wipes out. So there you go. All right, guys, from my kitchen to yours, I hope you guys have a great day. God bless. Oh, that's cool. Well, anyway, I'm gonna show you how to turn, yikes. Oh, it's pineapple upside down cake. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so what, that guy just didn't get cleaned. Being honest, I didn't do dishes with that guy. When was the last time we went tent camping? Take this and dip back in my garlic, oh my God. So some people put garlic, oh my gosh. I just got done harvesting garlic. My hands smell like garlic and we kept saying I see it. So anyway, I need my, oh. It's so sad. It's so sad.